Right, so we've talked about the players back from injury. Ben White, player about to come back from injury. Bukayo Saka. Mikel Arteta showed his lighter side after the Chelsea game, pretending to dash out when he was asked about Saka's recovery, but he said that he's got a good chance of returning straight after the international break. And this comes at a time when Arsenal are struggling for ingenuity and creativity. So, just first of all, how much will his return help fix Arsenal's attacking problems?
You know when you don't want to put too much pressure on someone. I mean, it'll be huge, absolutely huge for Arsenal. But my thinking with Saka and Arsenal have been very careful with him. You know, the plan is hopefully that he will be available after the international break. They're going to really step up the last part of his rehab now over the next couple of weeks, and then when everyone comes back after the internationals, Saka will, fingers crossed, be able to join in with them, do some proper first team training with the squad, and then you've got Fulham, Everton, and then the big one, Real Madrid. And, Bukayo Saka, believe, will have that fixture circled on his calendar on his wall and he'll be looking at it every single day because he wants to play in that. But he's been out since December the 21st. He's had his hamstring reattached. It's a massive thing. And my worry is it's just like, oh my God, Bukayo Saka's back. Everything's going to be fixed. They've got to take their time with him. They will. They won't put him in until they're absolutely sure that he's fine. But it's kind of like coming back for pre-season again for Bukayo Saka now. We just got to temper our expectations a little bit to think he's going to come back in and be the saviour. Suddenly everything's going to be back to normal. Arsenal are going to score loads of goals. I hope that happens. I really hope that happens. But in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking he's got to basically start again from scratch after so long out. He's not, it is a pre-season starting again for Saka now. So it will be huge. The cheer that will go around the Emirates when he first comes out, everyone has missed him massively. Arsenal have missed him. The fans have missed him. Mikel Arteta's missed him. And it's going to be fantastic to see him back. But I still just don't think we will see the best Bukayo Saka until next season. I think we all have to expect that from him and not place too much expectations on him coming back in and being this saviour of Arsenal's attack in the final sort of 6 weeks or so.
You just answered my next question perfectly there, actually. I was going to say about how expectations should be tempered. Of course, this is the first really big injury that he's had
Mm.
in his career. Obviously, he gets knocks and niggles every week, as he does. He's that sort of player. But, this is the first time he's been out for months and months. I think it was John Cross reported yesterday that he is targeting that first leg against Real Madrid, but he could make the bench against Fulham and Everton. So, if he is given the green light for those two games, are you of the view that he should get some minutes into his legs off the bench just in the last sort of 10, 5 minutes, or would you just not risk him at all and make sure he's fine for that Real Madrid first leg?
Oh no, you've got to play him before Real Madrid. If he wants to have any chance of playing against Madrid, then he's got to get some minutes against Everton and against Fulham, and I'm sure that will be absolutely the plan. 15, 20 minutes against Fulham, maybe half an hour against Everton, and then you decide whether he's fit enough to start against Madrid. And those are the two huge games for Arsenal. I don't want to count my chickens too yet, just yet, but you think the top four it should be done. They should get themselves Champions League. The title's gone, obviously. So all the focus is on the Champions League now. Can you get them right for that? And if Arsenal go out against Real Madrid, then those last few league games of the season, it's just take it easy with him, get minutes into him, and again, get ready for next season. No risk taken. But I think all the preparation now is just to try and get him available to play against Madrid because he could be the difference maker for Arsenal. Even if he's 70, 80% fit, he could still be the guy that makes a difference. So, yeah, 15 minutes on the first game against Fulham, maybe step it up against Everton, and then a decision to be taken on if he can start. I still feel like that first leg might come a little bit too early in terms of a first start, but then I look at the second leg in Madrid. Maybe that's a more realistic sort of proposition in terms of when his first start could be, but we'll have to wait and see. As Saka has shown before, when he does come back, he is quite good at it in terms of coming back from shorter layoffs. Obviously, like you said, this is the first significant one he's had, but he does sort of get up to speed relatively quickly, Bukayo Saka, and that's a positive maybe to cling on to.
Yeah, and I just spoke about how he is a sort of player that draws lots of fouls, wins lots of free kicks. So is that another reason why Arsenal should really be careful with him? Because if he is at least maybe 70 or 80% as good as he can be, then he will get kicked as he normally does.
Yeah, I will certainly get kicked. There's no doubt about that. I think he'll be fine though because that's kind of different. Obviously, we're worried about how the hamstring is and how the body reacts and stuff like that in terms of sort of impact stuff. I'm not too worried about that. It's just something he's had to deal with his whole career, and I'm sure he'll be fine when he comes back, and he'll just have to take the whacks that he's going to get. My fear is more the how the muscle deals with it, how the hamstring is, and I'm sure that's what there'll be when he really steps up now over the next few weeks in training. The sort of the acceleration, the bursts that he has to do in training, the quick turns and all that. That's going to be the key. How does the muscle deal with that sort of strain that he's not had to do for the last since December basically. But in the impact stuff, I'm not overly concerned about that. That's just going to come from him being Bukayo Saka.